Hey guys, welcome back to Empire Universe. I am doing another live stream of the huge card tomorrow. No secret, UFC 259, Jan Blachowicz versus Israel Adesanya. So without further ado, let's get started. Now I will be having to join me is Kealii Kanekoa. He's a MMA fighter. I've had him on my podcast before. And he will be joining very soon. Let me just scroll over here. Let me get out of here. Okay, so Kealii will be joining pretty soon. He just has a little bit of something going on. I told him I was going to start off without him. So, and he might have a little bit of trouble getting in, but I'm going to start without him, and then we'll go from here. So. Okay. All right. Oops. Sorry, guys. Just give me a second here. A bit of an issue here. Okay. So Kealii's in here, and we're going to get him in a second. Okay. Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Luke? How are you doing, man?
Not too bad. Sorry, I'm just trying to get all my screen sharing on here.
No problem.
So when I put us on here, I want to know if you can see it as well.
You mean yeah. Got
okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to switch the screen, and then we'll start off with the card here. And you can put your thoughts in after when I review each fight, and then we'll get started here.
Okay, sounds great.
And before I do, how you been, man?
Good. Putting in some good training. I'm back in fight camp. There's a little. I'm gonna announce a secret soon. I mean, it's out now, but yeah. I'm just staying prepared. Just taking a last minute show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I look forward to it. Right now, I'm in the process of cutting weight. I don't really have to do anything drastic at all. I'm with a really good camp right now. Anthony Burchek down at 10th Planet Tucson. Great people, a really phenomenal team, and they're really putting the grind on me. It's like every day, bro. But other than that, I feel healthy. I feel strong, and living life to the fullest.
Well, that's good, man. Yeah, I'm very excited to have you on here to help me review this card. And actually, that name really sounds familiar to me because I think I brought it up. I was doing an interview with Jesus. I just had his name on Gustavo Lopez, and he actually fought him.
Yep.
And he was talking about how when he fought him and everything, and I think they've trained together too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's cool, man. I'm glad to hear it. I mean, obviously you can't share anything,
Thank
so
yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
We will we'll start reviewing this card here. So oh shoot. Apparently I don't know how to work this thing.
It's all good, man. I'm not actually like tech savvy either, so I'm just starting to get into like the whole GoPro, and I got some equipment ready for the fight camp, and more content the better.
Okay. Well, so we're starting off with the early prelims here. So we'll go off here. I might skip a couple fights, ones that I don't know a whole lot about, just because there's a shitload of fights on this card.
Got it.
So,
yeah, I know. It's stacked. It's super stacked. I was like surprised on the card. I was like, wow, they had a filler for this one for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like I guess with Dana White, he mentioned that apparently it wasn't supposed to work out this way. It just kind of it kind of just the way the fights all got put together. That's just the way it kind of all worked out.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess it kind of worked out for the better anyway.
That's true.
But yeah, for sure. So I guess we're gonna start off with Mario Bautista and Trevin Jones. Yeah, this fight is actually a really good fight. I'm kind of surprised that it was put on the early prelims, but again, like you mentioned, like this whole card's kind of like wild. So, yeah, what do you know these guys at all?
No, Mario Bautista and Trevin Jones. Forgive me if I'm saying your guys' name wrong, but I'm not familiar with both of them at all. I zoomed in on top of your stuff just now so I can see their stats.
Yeah.
Damn. 12-6. That's good though. Coming into the UFC, I mean, the more the merrier, right? The more fights you have, the more comfortable you feel, going into your fights, and that's good. I feel like Trevin Jones is gonna feel comfortable in there because he does have a lot of fights over Mario Bautista, but also Mario does have a lot of significant wins. He has 8-1, and I feel like that's his confidence. That's gonna actually help him throughout the fight.
Yeah. And I think Mario too. Yeah, Mario too. He's got a lot of mix of different wins too. So it definitely does show that he's definitely comfortable pulling off a win anywhere.
Right. He's very well rounded.
Yeah, and I think I've seen Trevin Jones fight. Actually, I was supposed to have him on for an interview like a month and a half ago, but I just didn't lock in the deal. But I think it's definitely going to be.
I just got my meal, bro. Sorry, excuse me, real quick. I have to get these greens in just real quick.
No worries at all. Yeah, no worries at all.
You got the berry green celery juice, bro.
Breakfast. Oh, it must taste so wonderful.
Oh my god, it was insane. But again, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Back to Trevin Jones.
Yeah, I think with Trevin Jones, I think that either this fight will come down to experience, or it's going to come down a lot to who is really going to want more. I think this definitely could be a good battle for sure. It's kind of unfortunate because I haven't really watched both guys fight, so that's why I might skip some of these fights on here. No disrespect to any of the other fighters.
No worries. I mean, yeah, it's good that we shed some light on top of them because I'm not familiar with these fighters at all. I'd love to see these guys go at it. What is this? What's their weight class?
Oh, I should have mentioned that. Yeah, bantamweight, I think.
Bantamweight. Oh,
yeah.
Those those weight classes, by the way, their speed, it's phenomenal. And
it's insane.
Yeah, if they can be consistent with that, bro, power and speed. You already know what it is. It's going to be a great, combination there. But they're really, really good fighters. We have a few fellas in the gym that are super small and spunky and wrestlers. So their persistence, it's helping me right now in the areas. I believe the last time we talked, there was some things that I was shedding light on and some dark areas, which was my ground game, correct? And the pace that the wrestler provides for someone that really needs to work on ground game, phenomenal. I'm at a right place right now and in the right place to be working on those specific holes in my game. And it's no longer going to be a hole in my game, though, for sure. For sure. But I look forward to it. No, it can't be. Of course not. Like I said to many people, if you don't learn from your mistakes at all, you should not be in this game, And if you do learn from your mistakes and see those things that you need to correct in the fight game, that's more power to you, And that's why I'm really happy and I picked the right gym, or you know what, like they say, the universe actually picked the right gym for me. and which was really great. Like I said, working with small, spunky people really changed a lot in my game because I was sparring against bigger people, like people in extreme coutures. There's Francis Ngannou. There's like all these big heavyweight people, and it was great, getting punched in the face sometimes, I think, from Francis Ngannou. But at the same time, the consistency wasn't there, like the pressure that a wrestler has, that a spunky bantamweight has. And that just changes the level in fighting for me. And yeah, I look forward to Trevin Jones and Mario putting on a striking clinic or however it may go.
Yeah, so you're definitely watching the fights this weekend, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've been consistent right now. Usually, like I said last time I talked to you, I haven't been watching fights because I don't really like to keep update with it. But
yeah,
I've been enjoying it lately and seeing things more differently. Watching other fighters and seeing other holes in other people's games, and that like really helps me out as a professional athlete, as an athlete itself, and also a mixed martial artist, and that is good. So yeah, we get together, a few of the fellas at the gym, and we go over to my friend's house, Ace Martinez. I believe you probably heard of him. He fought for LFA as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, really, really good guy. Great striker too, and I can't wait to see him back in the cage. Look out for him because Ace is really a wrecking ball for sure. Those nasty calf kicks.
You know what?
I don't even want to fuck with those shit.
Well, with so with like they're talking about using calf kicks a lot more. They've used it. Fighters have been using it more in the last 5 years than they ever have. There's a few exceptions to certain fighters that have such a strong kick. But a lot have been using it a lot more often because you get hit in that spot, and it's like almost like if you're getting hit in the. I mean, I shouldn't have to explain it. You know this shit, but it's like getting hit in the arm. You get hit there about 3 or 4 times. You don't want it anymore, right?
You don't want any of that. It's kind of like those calf slicers or those bicep slicers that you have in jiu-jitsu. You keep doing that after a while. That shit it gets annoying, and what's the right word for it? Demobilizes the opponent. Takes out his front lead leg, and that's your lead leg that you really need. So I see how the game changed with calf kicks. It's amazing, and I wouldn't want to be on the other side receiving it at all. It's a crazy game changer, but as the fight war progresses, I'm sure there's going to be many more defensive. Look at Conor McGregor. He just posted on top Twitter, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to check the leg kicks this time," and then look what happened. Dustin Poirier just came out of nowhere. He was like, it's not going to work that way. He's going to switch it up. And that's good because the game it's always evolving. And that's 100%. How it should be. That's how it should be. As a professional athlete, you should stay up to date. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I'm actually paying attention more to fighting and being around it more. It's great. It's phenomenal. I love it.
But no, absolutely, and that's important as a fighter to do. Oh shit! Sorry, I had something I was going to add on there, but maybe we'll come back to that in a second. But so for this fight, I think I'm going to go with Trevin Jones. That's my safe bet there. Who you taking, man?
I'm gonna go with Trevin Jones too. Honestly, because like I said, Trevin Jones, he has the experience. So keeping his composure in the ring and letting Mario to just tee off and blow his load in the very beginning, that's gonna happen, and I already see that happening. But if he gets caught with a shot, Mario is good in all areas of his game.
Mm-hmm.
So if he gets caught slipping, and then maybe it's gonna go tomorrow. But yeah, I totally agree with you on your pick with Trevin Jones, and I'm gonna go ahead with that for sure.
Oh, alrighty. This is just a lot of fights, so I'm just gonna skip a few. Maybe just get to the ones that I know a whole lot. You got the women's strawweight bout. You got leaving. Dude, I honestly every time I do these live streams, I get fucking cursed with names. Every fucking name I get into, it's cursed. Lavinia Souza and Amanda Lemos. So I know Souza. I think she's the plus 172 there. With Souza, I think I just watched her fight like a month or two ago. I feel like she just fought. I'm just gonna look her up here. I have another page open.
She is familiar. I think I saw her fight. Like she probably fought like two promotions ago. But,
back in actually no, it was in August 15th. So
I don't know why that felt like it was so.
Yeah, that was a while ago, but that felt like that was like just like 2 months ago. But she beat Ashley Yoder by decision. And she's not. I'm gonna be honest. Like she's racking up some good wins, but she hasn't really shown anything that's convincing me that she's rising to the top
against a high level competitor.
Mm-hmm. Like she's, as you can see here, she's she's number 15 ranked. So if you look at this Ray here, I mean the Brazilian gangster, she's definitely got the experience right away. But Amanda Lemos, I think that she's got every chance like anybody else. Unfortunately, I don't know a whole lot about her. Now, if we look at Amanda Lemos for a second, so far fighting in the UFC, she hasn't fought a whole lot. Like her first fight was against Leslie Smith, who I think everybody knows who she is. I mean, what like crazy animal. I mean, she's just super tough. But besides her debut, she's won 2 fights in a row. She got a technical submission over Miranda Granger, who's also kind of a newcomer. So she's definitely in there. She's in it. She's won 2 fights in a row. She's had 3 fights in the UFC. So she's definitely, this isn't her first rodeo. I mean, if you look at their stats, besides the record, I mean, they're both from Brazil, almost pretty much the same height, weight. I mean, reach virtually identical.
Virtually identical.
But now, if you look at the win by, definitely, just by looking at this, I mean, you're looking at like a grappler versus a striker.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean,
Amanda being the striker for sure. That her ground game is not really that good, but if you have the basics in the ground game, then you can win offensively and defensively. You can really work out of bad positions with the basics. So Amanda leaning towards the ground, I don't see it going that way. If she wants to really win that fight for Amanda, I think it would be best for her to stand up. Her opponent, she looks like she has a consistent rate of wins and submissions, so that's gonna have the advantage over Amanda if it goes down to the ground.
Yeah, and she definitely Lavina Souza. She's I've seen her grappling. Whoever's in the background there, that's fucking.
I know you guys. Would you guys mind? It's all good.
I understand you're outside. I mean, there's only so much you can do. But
it's like fucking the juices. But I'll tell them straight up. I don't really care. I mean, right now I'm in like weight cut mode, bro. So it's not even a smart thing to do to mess with someone in a weight cut mode. You know,
There you go.
it's like, please, just give me my space. Like this morning, I stayed up very late last night, and I was very surprised that I still had the energy to complete this morning's training. But I found it. I dug deep, and I'm grateful that I did because it's another day that's checked off the list.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dealing with the weight cut thing is not too bad this time around. Um, Other fights from before, yeah, it was like very last minute. So I was like cutting 15 pounds sometimes in like 2 days, and that was bad for me. So now everything is going great. But sorry for the noise in the back.
Oh, no worries. That's not your fault, man. Um, but yeah, so just kind of going back to this fight,
Yeah.
I think maybe Amanda Lemos has got this fight. I think she'll be able to kind of stuff those takedowns, and she's going to keep it on the feet,
Yeah.
and it's going to be Lemos all day long.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. So my pick on that is Amanda as well.
Okay. Well, I think we're 2-0 right now. Now, like I said, I'm gonna skip some fights. I know, I guess Sean Brady, Jake Matthews, that's a great matchup. I'm
Bro,
gonna go
some of
with
these guys I haven't even seen before, like ever. Carlos, yeah, that's a name that's right now in the talks, in the works, Tim Elliott, yep. Kennedy, I'm not too sure. Jordan Espinoza. Yeah, I'm very familiar with those names. But the rest, no, honestly.
Well, let's look at Tim Elliott for a second here. So, definitely the bet. This guy, he's been in there for a long time. I mean, I think he was the guy that he was on the Ultimate Fighter, and then what happened was whoever got to the final was the would go. I think had a chance at DJ, and and he lost that fight. Obviously, but he made it a close one. But if I'm looking at his record here, he's really like not.
No,
he's not really doing the best.
Yeah, it's actually spiraling back down. I was kind of surprised after that because I kind of thought that he was gonna throw everything, into the back of the burner and just be like, "Fuck, I'm over it." But yeah, he's staying consistent, and I guess the UFC kept him. Very surprising because the UFC just dropped a lot of people, and it's crazy. It sucks for the people that actually just were released, but I guess it's like I said before. It's a ever evolving sport, and that's, I guess, we have to make room for the new.
What I was gonna say was, Tim Elliott. He's definitely on the crappy end of records right now, and Jordan Espinoza, he's got a lot to gain from this win.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, this is going to be a tough fight for both guys because you got Tim Elliott that needs a win bad. With Jordan Espinoza, let me see. Let me take a look at him here. With Jordan Espinoza, I haven't seen him fight too much, but he's kind of not. He's sort of in the same level, where he's kind of having a lot of losses lately. But he's losing to some really high level guys. I mean, he lost to Matt Schnell, who's honestly on a tear right now. Alex Perez, who just fought for the title, or not? Excuse me, not just fought, but back in November, I think, and David Doverak or whatever. So he's definitely, he hasn't lost it, to just nobody. So
yeah, it's big names. That's very big names. So the experience is there for sure. For both fighters, their experience is there. And the names that they fought against too, of course, it's like, what's the easiest way to say it? It builds more confidence for both of them going into this fight, and they're very comfortable. Like I said, the more fights that you have, even though if it's a loss, it still builds you. It builds you as a fighter, for sure. How comfortable you can be in there in the cage. Israel just talked about that actually. I'm sorry, Bazooka Joe, if you remember him. Bazooka Joe, he's been around for a very long time. He's an awesome kickboxer. He's one of my favorites too. He's been there around Israel for a very long time, and he like he said in one of his life stories, he was talking about how comfortable a fighter is in the fight, in MMA, crossing over from kickboxing. The reason why it's because they have a high number of fights. They have like 60 something fights to 100 something fights sometimes, and that's what builds of being comfortable. That's what builds a comfortable just feeling at home in the cage when it's. Even if it's against a high-level MMA fighter, you still have the experience from the kickboxing and all those fights and bringing it over into the MMA world. So that's what some of the fighters that do have a very big record, and that's what some of the fighters that have that kind of record have the advantage over the other fighters that are just new and fresh, and just hopping into the cage with like 3-0 or 4-0 fights. And that sometimes is, you don't know exactly who you're up against, but if you can weather the storm with that discipline and being able to get out of the deep water and just swim back to shore, with the basics, that's what all those high level fighters have. But coming back to the pick on Jordan and Tim Elliott, I don't know. I think I might go with Tim Elliott, bro.
I think I got Tim Elliott as well. I think he's, I think he's got it. And it's really hard because both these guys, again, like a lot of these fights, like I haven't watched a whole lot of, but Tim Elliott I know a lot of. Like I've seen, a lot more of his fights. So I think just to be safe, I would go with Tim Elliott on this one. I think he knows what's at stake. Possibly his UFC job. So, no disrespect, but I mean, you look at the record, and again, like you gotta look at the real picture. You gotta know, like, hey, my time's coming up, so I need to be careful.
Exactly, and that's what I was trying to say earlier too. No disrespect to Tim Elliott, great fighter, phenomenal. He's one of those guys that I also used to watch all the time too. But yeah, once you know that you're on the edge of losing your job, it actually lights a fire under your ass, and some really don't. Some take it lightly and don't really give it their 100% or 1,000%, and that's what kind of fucks them up, And then of course, you're gonna lose your job, but in everything that you do in life, you gotta do it at least 120 or 110%, but always 120, never 100%.
Absolutely. So I'm just gonna move on to the next fight here. Well, actually not the next, but just the next one I'll cover. So you got the flyweights. This one I was really surprised, but Joseph Benavidez, number 2, against Askar Askarov, which was ranked 3. And before I even really talk about the fight, I'm kind of surprised that Joseph Benavidez is gonna take another fight. I really thought after he got after his last bout with Figueiredo, I thought shit. I mean, I thought the way he got beat both fights, I thought that was the look. The way I watched it, the look on his face was like the man was beaten. When someone's just beaten so many times, and that look on their face, like I'm done. That's exactly what I saw on his face. So I'm kind of worried about him getting into this fight. Wondering where his head's at. But I mean, like, again, like Joseph Benavidez before those 2 losses, for the most part, he's been kicking ass.
Yeah,
Right from his last fight with Demetrius Johnson, he lost both
that was
times.
a. I mean, to be honest, that was a really good matchup, and I thought it was going to be like back and forth, which it was.
Mm-hmm.
But Demetrius is on a whole different level, bro.
Oh,
Whole different level. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. And
absolutely.
I'm hoping, yeah, he's been a good training camp. I used to be with Extreme Couture too. I usually go down there a lot right before
Mm-hmm.
training camps and put in some work. He's with a good camp, and I believe, yeah, Anthony's down there too as well right now, and he's actually in camp 2 for March 20th. So, um, yeah, I believe Joseph can bounce back for sure. Um, I saw that fight too, and I thought that he was going to throw in the gloves at the ending of the fight, and I was like, look, after like a week went by, we don't really know what happens in every single fighter's life, right?
Yeah.
Like no one knows what fucking like knows what happened in my life and what I just went through this morning. I had no sleep, bro, and I went straight to training. And every single fighter has something in their life
Mm-hmm.
that either is like a speed bump in their life, but it's never a roadblock. Some people hit a roadblock. Some of them hit a roadblock and they never make it back. But Joseph, he's just got some speed bumps and that's it. And I'm sure that he can ride it through and then come back from it. And I can see that happening. So on this one, I'm not familiar with what's his name,
Ascar, yeah.
Askar. I'm not familiar with Askar at all. But if you will, or if you could, can you please scroll down for the stats real
Yeah.
quick?
Well, and with Ascar though, I've seen him. He's undefeated. I mean, he had a no contest a while back, but
Okay.
he's definitely this is going to be a
Oh
stand
wow.
up. I can tell you that right now, which is kind of dangerous for Ascar because he's undefeated. He's had some knockout wins, but his last fight, he tried to utilize his wrestling a lot. And I mean, Benavidez, that's right up his alley. So
Yeah. Yeah. You
you know,
can't
it,
do that with wrestling.
typically when we see these fights with 2 wrestlers, it's a stand up fight, which is what everyone wants to see. Everyone wants to see
It's stand and bang.
just a brawl, right?
Yeah.
That it kind of reminds me of the fight with Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington. Like everyone's kind of wondering, like, they're both good wrestlers. They both can wrestle on the ground. How's this going to go? And then it was a stand-up fight, and it was a great fight.
Yep.
So, I mean, this could be a potential good stand-up fight as well.
That's true.
But the question is, how good is Askarov going to be able to stay on his feet for? And I think that's where it comes into play for Benavidez because he has every opportunity to knock him out on the feet.
Yeah.
So I think this is actually a great fight for Joseph Benavidez.
I agree, 100%. My choice would be a Joseph Benavidez as well.
Mine as well, and I think that's the reason why he took this fight. It's a good fight for him as well. He's got a guy that's got a lot of hype behind him, or a bit of hype anyway. So definitely,
absolutely, he's doing good. I mean, honestly, he could be tired and be a commentator if he wanted to, or at least work his way up to commentating. His wife is doing a phenomenal job, but every fighter within them, like Mike Tyson, there's some fire within them, and it's like there's still that beast in there. This morning, I had to really dig deep and find that beast that I usually have in there, and every fighter has that. So it'll bounce back. Like even after you retire, it'll bounce back. Look what happened with Mike Tyson. What's happened with Ray Jones Jr. That I mean, not to be crossing into the boxing world, but I'm just saying like there's a lot of people who made a comeback, and you can strive from that comeback because all you need is like that confidence booster to help you excel, and that's it. But
Yeah, and I think that's where we're gonna see a lot in this fight. I don't know if it's gonna be a knockout on the feet. It could be a definite 30-27. I think that's where we're gonna see is a 30-27 fight for
yeah,
Joseph
decision.
Benavidez.
Nice.
You're gonna see the level of we both can wrestle, but can you stand on the feet the entire fight? And that's I think what's gonna be the deciding factor.
Right.
So just kind of moving on here. So you got this is a fight that I'm actually looking forward to because I don't know if this fighter, I don't think this fighter has his picture updated because the last time I saw this guy, he had hair like Brian Ortega. So
Oh,
Tyler
yeah,
Phillips,
like that. Yeah, that Fabiano look, huh? Or Fabio.
yeah.
The butter guy. I can't believe it's not butter. No, just kidding.
I think right away. I'm just gonna say this right away, and this might be a little. I think this is a little. I'm just gonna shoot this out here, but I got Song Young Dong, the guy. He's trained over at American Top Team,
Okay.
and I think it's American Top Team that he's at. Either he's at American Top Team or he's training over at Team Alpha Male. I can't remember.
Oh. Either way, that's still good counts.
And ever since he's been training with, I think it's Team Alpha Male because he was training with the California kid. I'm trying to think of his name.
A California kid? You mean the Florida?
I just can't think.
California kid. Yeah, that's Uriah Faber.
Yeah, Uriah Faber. Yeah. So I think he was at Team Alpha Male, and and I think ever since he's been there, he's just. I mean, look at his record. Ever since his fight with Renat Ondar, that's how you say his name. He's been on tear, and I mean, he's knocking people out. He's putting people to sleep. Like it's just the guy is just unbelievable, and I think that's right away. I got Song Young Dong.
Song Young Dong.
Song Young Dong.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's definitely he's number 14 ranked. I think that he's got more of the.
Yeah, he is over at Alpha Male. I'm looking him up right now. Oh yeah, I've seen this guy before. So who's his opponent? Because I can't really see the stats, but who is he fighting? No, that's fine.
Kyler Phillips.
Kyler Phillips.
Yeah.
Wow, he has some TKO and knockouts, bro. Wow, this is actually I think this is going to be a good fight, bro. Like,
yeah, he's had multiple performance of the night bonuses, so you already know this guy's coming in locked and loaded.
Yeah,
so he's sitting in the lunch codes. So he's I think definitely like Song Young Dong. He's been impressive. I try not to just shoot out right out of the gate and say, "Yep, I got this guy," but I got him. I'm pretty confident he's gonna pull out the win. Right away, I got Song Young Dong.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's like I feel like it's going to be a knockout too, but I'm gonna have to go with Kyler, bro. For some reason, I don't know. I'm just gonna trust my gut intuitive feeling on that one. Those stats are crazy. I mean, a knockout percentage like that over someone that also is a knockout artist as well. That shows a lot, and their stats on the submission game and. It actually matches up very well, so that's why I feel like it's going to be a great fight, and it won't go to decision, that's for sure.
No,
but I will go with Kyler. So this is going to be 3-1.
Okay.
or 4-1 actually, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, 4-1. Sorry. And then this is the featured. Prelim bout. I mean, I don't think we need any introduction for Dominic Cruz.
No, not at all.
I think
Casey Kenny.
and Casey Kenny, yeah, I just saw him fight a while back, and he's been really impressive.
Yeah, he's finding those openings too. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I just mentioned that he's finding those openings on the stand up. But yeah, he has really good takedown. He has really good submissions. And imagine that though. I'm not too sure what he's working on right now in his camp, but if you're a fighter, you should know exactly. Okay, I got to work on this because all these things are awesome and it's really effective. So I'm going to shed some light in darker areas. And obviously, as soon as you just brought up the stats just now, I just saw a huge, significant difference between Dominic Cruz and Casey Kenny just now with their TKO, and KO.
Yeah.
But that definitely will. Dominic Cruz, yeah, his movement, it's phenomenal.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so going against someone that has footwork and great knockout power, I think this is gonna go. I'm gonna go with Cruz. Yeah, Casey Kenny, love you, bro, but I'm gonna go with Cruz.
Yeah, and I think with this fight, I think what's going to happen is Casey Kenny's going to. I'm sure he's going to land some good punches, whether or not they knock Cruz out. But I think Cruz is with his footwork, he's going to definitely going to frustrate Kenny, and I think he's going to try to get him to kind of chase him a little bit.
Yeah.
And with the footwork that he's got, it's definitely. I think he's definitely going to frustrate Kenny. And Kenny, I mean, don't get me wrong, that guy is not afraid to get into a brawl.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's kind of the problem in this fight is that he has no problem brawling, but the issue is that Cruz is not going to stand there and be like, yeah, let's go. He's gonna pick him off and use that footwork. So I agree. I got Cruz as well.
100%.
And let me just get to the main card. Jesus.
The sledgehammer, the warhammer. Get on the side.
Yes. He's got like Thor's hammer on his fucking chest.
Yeah. I was just watching all his clips the other night. I was like, wow, this guy's got some amazing power behind his kicks. And it's on a whole different level, honestly.
It's insane.
So, Alexander. I'm not familiar with Alexander at all, but yeah, Thiago Santos, big name for sure. And I feel like you said, I don't really like shooting right off the gate, and sorry about that. Oh shit! It's a parade, like right here in the middle of the Arizona University in Tucson. So it's like it's a very, very, very busy area. But Thiago Santos, yeah, I'm familiar with him, and that too I'm going to have to go for 100%. I don't know, Alexander, he could be a threat to Thiago, but like I said, the numbers speak for itself, and you can see Thiago's numbers right now is 21-8. Damn.
Well, let's just look at his KO power. It's like 71%.
Yeah. Wow. 75% for Alexander.
I find like in this fight, I mean, Alexander, I find is bit of a like very underrated. He's kind of one of those guys that is impressive, but he doesn't get the recognition for it. And he's definitely besides his loss to Volkan Ozdemir back in 2019.
That's who he fought.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good. They actually put on a good striking clinic. They were really good, but like I said, Thiago Santos' kicks is Volkov. Forgive me if I'm saying his name wrong, but he doesn't really throw that much kicks. It's all punches and evading, and slipping to the left or slipping to the right and throwing that upper and cross straight down the middle.
Yeah.
With the kicks, no. Thiago Santos knows how to set those up with punches and power. And with that, if you can set up a kick, oh my God. So, yeah. Alexander, this is going to be a good fight for him. And if he has everything to gain from this fight against Thiago Santos, and that's going to definitely improve his resume. Whoever he gets, or whoever he decides to fight after, that which is going to be good because it's going to be in his favor.
Yeah, and with the one thing I was going to bring up with Santos was, I mean, his last fight he looked terrible. I mean, he fought. I'm trying to think of his name. The one Brazilian. Jesus.
The
I'm trying to think of
Cowboy?
his name. No, he fought.
No, it's a different weight class.
Yeah. No, Glover Teixeira. And and I think that was one of those fights where that was just Glover being such a he's much older, but he just has that experience and worked really well and did what he was doing. But I mean, in every single fight I've seen with Thiago Santos, every freaking fight I've seen him fight in, like, you just watch, like, your hand shakes because, like, I don't know, my hand shakes because I'm like waiting to see him just obliterate somebody. And he's had a lot of good wins. I mean, he beat Kevin Holland, Eric Enders, Jimmy Manua, Jan Bohovic. Like, he even knocked out the champ, like the current champ that's fighting on that we're going to be covering. And so, I mean, he's definitely. And then John Jones, in my opinion, he beat John Jones. That was a bullshit decision.
Yep.
So, I mean, realistically, he only lost against Glover Teixeira recently. That's true. I think with this fight, he's definitely learned a little bit more. Now with Alexander Rick, he's definitely got the wrestling abilities, even though he's only got like so much of submissions, but he's definitely got the wrestling. So whether or not he's going to use that against Thiago Santos, I don't. That'll be hard to say. It's going to be a 3-round fight. So this is actually kind of a good fight for Thiago Santos. It's a 3-round fight. Obviously he's just gonna throw everything but the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
So I think Thiago Santos, he's got this first or second round TKO.
I'm thinking I'm gonna go with the first. Fresh off the gate, yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna go with the first. I'm pretty confident with that. Like I said, he sets up his kicks, and I'm looking for that, especially that spinning back kick. It's lethal. It's a very lethal kick, and he loves to throw that shit out there like it's nothing. It's like, I mean, it's not nothing. It's just like hotcakes. Like, he just starts serving him like. But I'm gonna go with Thiago Santos, bro, on this one.
Yeah, I agree. My prediction would be second round. You're saying first round. Yeah. I guess we'll have to see, brother.
We have to see. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go hit up the parlays, and let's see what the outcome will be on this one. So I'm trying to trust my intuitive feeling.
Definitely, man. Yeah. So we're gonna go on the next one. We got Islam Makayev versus Drew Dober. This is definitely a matchup, a good matchup. I'm not totally convinced with Drew Dober. He looked really good against Alexander Hernandez, who's also a really dangerous striker. But I mean, Drew Dober, he's training at a good at Team Elevation, so he's definitely.
Oh, I thought he was with Sanford, but that's in Miami. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think
Florida.
Yeah, I think he's still at Team Elevation, and that's a great gym.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah, I agree 100%.
but he's got Islam Makayev, who, I mean, this guy ain't coming or fucking around
I
either.
was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. Islam, bro. Islam is like, okay. If you've trained with any of these guys, like I did, they are intense. I mean, do not show up hungover or going out from the day before, because they do not take that shit lightly. Um, they take training very serious, and that's what I love about them. Like Islam and Khabib, them and all of them. They take fighting very serious. They don't fuck
Mhm.
around with drinking. They don't go out. They don't go partying. They're very, very dedicated and disciplined, and that's where I see the areas in Islam. There's no holes in those game in his game at all, because they're always consistently fixing something. If there's something small to work on, they're continuing to fix that until they actually get it perfected, and that's something I really admire about all of them. Um, I love to keep persistence. I mean, I love persistence. I love to just keep on grinding, and that's why I admire them so much. So.
Mhm.
Drew
Yeah.
Dober, yeah. To be honest, I'm not too sure about Drew Dober, bro. um,
I just don't, I'm not totally convinced with him.
Same
Like,
here.
he's had some good, he's on a tear right now. He's three knockouts. He's two in 2020 last year. He's looking good. But I'm not totally convinced. Can he go from here to, can he go up the ladder against a guy like Islam
Islam.
Makayev? And I think that's where that's gonna be the question mark. I'm really having a hard time deciding who it's gonna be, but my gut would probably go with Islam.
Same
I
here.
think his wrestling pressure is gonna really dictate the fight.
Yep.
Um, again, I mean, he's the guy that's been training with Khabib and all those animals there. I mean,
Yeah.
those guys are just beasts. So
Beast, bro.
I
And
think,
you gotta understand that, because that's their that's like their main slogan. So like beast. I smash people, like that's their
yeah.
fucking slogan. And they live by that. They live by that, by training hard and consistent, and the pressure, they maul, that could be mauls people, and that's the pressure that they keep on people. And that's how you do it. You just gotta throw people in the grinder and just fucking keep on grinding. I
Mhm.
mean, mind my language and shit, but I'm excited off of this fight. That actually got me really excited. I was like, what is him? Drew
Yeah.
Dober? You're gonna see the same exact thing that Drew that I don't want to say anything bad about other people, but you know what? I'm a fighter. I don't really care. Khabib against Connor,
Yes.
mauled Connor. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what's going to happen. All respect to Connor and the level of changes that he's made for MMA fighters and the MMA organization.
Mhm.
Respect to him and all of that. But you have to be on that level to compete against that people. And Khabib, them are on a very high octane level, bro.
And that's what it is. It's they're just like, you just watch like you. It's like, it reminds me kind of like, you take any group of people that train together, that've been doing it for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and there's not too many people that can match their skill. If you take the Shevchenko sisters for example,
Mm-hmm.
um, and you take them that, or you take those sisters that train with a group of people their whole lives. There's a reason why that Valentina in particular, why no one matches her skill, why she's slaughtering all these girls, is because she's one of a kind. It's like Khabib and the guys that he trains with. They're just one of a kind. It's really difficult to really kind of open up, like kind of have the key to their game. And
and they get the reason why they're so good at what to do is because they get you guessing, and that's what I'm learning right now on by the way, this is my nephew.
He's here.
He's heading to the army soon. So yeah, like back to what I was saying. Sorry. Their persistence in what they do, that's the level that you have to be at. And I knew that I had to be at that level, and I had to correct those things in my game. So where else is better to go than to a wrestling area and people that are champions and what they do, at what they do, and I saw that. I was like, look, I gotta really find a home for me on my ground game, and that was going back to the basics. Even if it's basic jiu-jitsu, basic wrestling, all those basics is going to help me improve on the ground. And that's what you have to do. You have to always step out of your comfort zone in order to discover different things out there and make it more comfortable for you. Wherever you may go, wherever you may be or land, you gotta find a home there. It's like that saying. It's like that saying. Wherever you go, it's like home. Your home is where the heart is. Something like that.
100%. 100%. Are you driving? Like, are you? Okay.
No. Yeah, I'm all good, bro.
Okay.
I got the AC on. I'm chilling. Got the greens in, and yeah, I'm all good. I could stay here for another hour or two. Okay. I just had to throw my phone on the charger. That was the main thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Just making sure. So let's I think we both agree that Islam's going to get this fight. Looking at the next fight, you got Petr Yan, the first championship fight. You got Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling. I love this fight. It's definitely interesting to kind of see how it's all going to work out. I can't really tell you who's going to win, who's not. This is a really good fight. Definitely Aljamain Sterling's got the reach advantage and the leg advantage.
He's got those funky moves too, bro. He's the funk master.
Yeah. So it's
like I'm rooting for Aljamain because of the team he's with. It's kind of crazy because I'm very supportive with the New Zealanders and being Polynesian and stuff. And I see that Aljamain is putting in some work right now, and it's his time, and he deserves it to be a champion because he's been in the game for a very long time. So he's putting in the work, and it's gonna show for itself on fight day. I'm looking forward to this fight, and I'm sure they're looking to clash as well, like as soon as possible. Because did you see the pre-conference that they just had?
I didn't watch the whole thing. No,
it's hilarious. Like, some people get starstruck. Some people, they've been there so many times, but you can still see the awkward moments when they're calling out each other and trying to talk shit to each other. Like, oh, a starstruck, But
yeah,
very interesting. You can see the intensity between both of them. That's because they're both training at a very high level.
Yeah.
Of being champions, and that's the thing that's going to show tomorrow when it comes to fight day.
And I think with this fight too, if obviously Petr Yan, he won the belt fair and square, but the thing that he mentioned was, hey, I got to be kind of like a young guy to kind of really solidify that I'm the champ. I think if he can beat Aljamain Sterling, that really shows you his level, and that really shows you that he can be the champ.
Yeah.
and stay a champ for a long time. Because once he gets through Aljamain Sterling, I think after that, I mean, he's got some killers there,
He does. He
but
does.
that kind of solidifies his like reign as a champ.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's totally understandable. And I'm rooting for Peter. I'm rooting for both of them. Like I said, Aljamain, that's just the team that I've worked with many times in my life with Extreme Couture, and he has very good teammates, bro, right now. So, and so does Peter Yan. He has some really good teammates as well. So, this is gonna play out to be a very good stand-up fight until Peter starts taking it to the ground. But other than that, but it's crazy because Aljamain he's a ground fighter too as well. He's like fucking awesome on the ground. So I see this
I
as
don't.
a hard battle.
Yeah, and I don't think that Pierre Jan's probably gonna want to take it to the ground. Um, that'd be kind of stupid. But I mean, hey, yeah, I'm not the one fighting, so I'm just a spectator here. But I think if he can keep it to the feet and it's on the feet the entire fight, I think Pierre Jan's is gonna get in the inside and kind of work his way in and get some in, get in the inside and get Aljamain Sterling. Pierre Yan, I mean, he went 4 rounds with the Beast Aldo. So,
Yeah,
he's not a guy that's going to come in and is a first round fighter. He's definitely he's
he's gonna
definitely
build it up. Yeah, he's gonna definitely build it up for sure. Peter Yan, he's got some very, very good knockout power as well. If he sets it up with the timing on the levels and stuff, yeah, there's definitely an opening there to catch Aljamain slipping. But honestly, Aljamain is funky. So I would, my strategy as a fighter, now that I'm actually reading fighters more better, um, I would do the GSP on this guy. It sounds boring, but if you're a fucking champion, you're gonna work as a champion. And if you got the level changes down and take him down and get him back up, and then start working with some hands like Peter Yan does, and steps in and catches Aljamain slipping off of that level change, fake the shot and come up. That is going to be his best advantage over Aljamain for sure.
yeah, and I think that's it'll be interesting how he's going to do it. So I think with no mercy, Pierre Yan, I'm probably going to go with Pierre Yan just because nothing against Aljamain Sterling, but I got to go with the champ.
Sounds good. Well, I'm going to go with Aljamain, and I'm going to stick with that, and we'll see how the results come out to be on Saturday night.
Absolutely. So next matchup, Amanda Nunez, Linus against Megan Anderson for the 145 strap. I actually like this fight.
I do too. I do
I
too.
do. I was kind of a little weary on it at first. I was like, I don't know, like, can't come on. But yeah, you know what though? I mean, this is one of those fights where, it's kind of one of those fights where you kind of look at it and you think, oh, how is Megan Anderson going to beat her? Like she's not this beast that's coming in and beating everybody, and But if people got to realize, like, so I did an interview with a couple people that train with her at Glory MMA in Kansas City, and they talked about how big she really is. I don't know if you watched the like when they do like the yeah, Megan, like how big Megan is. Like apparently, like they said, she's a big fucking girl. Like she's a real 145er. She's not a girl that's fighting at 145. No, she's a girl that's cutting to 145. So she's coming in like she's a big girl.
She is a big girl, and that's the thing, like she has more power, and that's
Mm-hmm.
the benefits of it. If you're coming in as a big girl, because you have that power. But when you're I just learned this actually from Anthony, and this is something that's very key, and I'm starting to realize that too. When you end up going up in weight, you just become slower, right?
Yeah.
If you go down in weight, you become weaker. So that's the thing. If she's able to sustain her power, and but I don't think she has to lose weight, right? Like, I mean, she didn't have to lose weight for this fight, correct?
Yeah, no, like oh, are you talking about Amanda Nunes?
No, no, Megan.
No, Megan's always fought at 145, I think.
Oh, okay.
So
But she went up weight.
yeah, no, I think Megan Anderson's always fought at 145. Let me just look her up for a second
Okay.
because I don't think she's ever fought under 145.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I think she's always fought at 145. And if you look at Megan Anderson, she's fought some good names. And she's fought a lot of names. I mean, she's fought Holly Holm, Kat Zingano, Felicia Spencer. I mean, her last two fights have been very impressive. So she's not, I think she's really put the puzzles together, and that's why I like this fight. Because a lot of people are, going into this fight thinking, well, look at Amanda Nunes. She starched everybody. How is this girl gonna win? But I
Don't
like it.
underestimate the underdog sometimes. You know, even though she's not the underdog, I'm just saying, like, don't underestimate anyone. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think I had that conversation with you before
Yeah.
on one of my jiu-jitsu matches where I was going against a kid, and I didn't even know that was my opponent because of the way he was dressed and the way he looks. You know, and
Yeah.
he was a fucking black belt in judo, and I was like, damn, this nerd boy is like fucking kicking my ass today, isn't he? But I never underestimate anyone. Ever since that happened, never since.
Absolutely, and that's her key is that she can't underestimate Megan Anderson. She just can't. Um, and I think that but again with Megan Anderson, she's I think the reach is going to be an issue for Amanda. I want to say like the calf kicks are incoming,
Yeah.
but I you know, I think the reach is going to be an issue, and they talked about it at the press conference. And Amanda Nunes says, "Yeah, I mean that's going to be something I'm going to have to work with." And
But
whether or not they're going to be chopping her legs down or whatever, but Megan Anderson, I mean, I think she's got a lot to gain from this fight. She's definitely, because of her reach, she's not going to worry so much about Nunes' power.
right,
And I talked about this in one of my podcasts a couple of days ago, and I said I think because a lot of the punches that Megan uses, there are a lot of straight punches. That's actually kind of a good thing because she's so long. A lot of the straight punches that she does, Amanda Nunes tends to throw like a lot of overhands, and they're very accurate, but they're very they just kind of come over the top, and that's going to be really difficult. Or excuse me, that's going to be difficult for Nunez, I think.
yeah, it is. We were working on that too as well because I have very good reach. I have amazing reach, and
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the things that I've been perfecting as well because I love to stand and bang, like how we were talking about earlier. A lot of people love to stand up and fight, you know.
Right.
Especially being from Hawaii, we just love to stand, just scrap. Uh,
Right.
but that's not me anymore. That's the old amateur me. My professional self now is like, okay, I gotta really utilize the things that I'm very strong at,
Mm-hmm.
and distance, keeping my opponent away with long jabs, stiff jabs, or straights, or crosses, and level changes. That's going to help me win the fights that I need to win, especially against fighters that are actually trying to come in on you and try and tee off on you, like that loopy overhand or any of those things. But using your basics, just the cross, the jabs with your reach, that's gonna frustrate the hell out of your opponent. to create them to start making drastic moves to where you can see the openings for your, and that's what I see playing out too for this fight. Amanda is just gonna have to get in there if she wants to win, but unfortunately, because of Megan's reach, I see that playing out in Megan's favor for sure.
Yeah, and I think with this fight, I think with Megan Anderson, I think that's what she was going to talk about at the press conference. I felt like she kind of gave away a little bit of her game plan, a little bit, like very subtly, like very much like, well, and I don't know if it's a direct quote, but she basically was saying like, hey, we're going to, we've looked at Amanda Nunez. We know she has some holes in her game. When she exposes them, we're going to capitalize on it. And I think that's where it's going to be. It's where she's going to use the reach, get a feel of where Amanda's going to be. And once Amanda starts to make those mistakes because she's never had to really deal with reach. So when she has to make up for that space, that's those openings. She's going to expose her. And I think with that being said, also one thing that you got to realize too is like Amanda Nunez has really never had anyone hit her hard. And that's kind of another thing is you can hit someone hard. You can be the hardest puncher. I mean, Amanda Nunez, fuck, I wouldn't even want to be hit by her. But you look at her. Well, I wouldn't want to be hit by her. But the reality is that, you can be the hardest hitter all you want. But if you get someone that matches equally with you and that can hit you just as hard, you have every chance to be knocked out too. You have every chance to lose. So it's definitely going to be a factor in this fight. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised, and I think Nunez. I mean, she could definitely lose this fight. I mean, that would be such an upset.
It would be a big upset for sure.
I'm going to go with Anderson.
Just now, he just took the words out of my mouth. Anderson, I see it going in her favor, and it's time for a new champion. Amanda Nunez, all best to her, and she's been a champion for for a very long time, which is great, and she went against high level people, but I see Megan Anderson going in there with her strategy that she exposed, but that it's going to be in her favor for sure. So I'm going with Megan as well.
Yeah, I think so too. She's just, I think it's time. It's her time. She's going to really surprise a lot of people. If I'm wrong, I'm not losing any money because I'm not fucking betting any money, because when I do, I always lose. So
I was like, I just started too. I was like, oh, what's this parlay shit? So I just started, and then, a couple fights didn't really go in my favor, but I have a strong gut feeling that it might actually happen, or who knows, whatever. But it's okay. You lose some in fighting, you lose some, you gain some.
Absolutely. And that's, I don't think it's a bad thing if Amanda loses. She's still the champ at 135. So, you know what? I mean,
the people's champ, and that's the thing, for where back at home, she's been a champ for a very long time, and she's gained a lot of followers, she's gained a lot of fans, and a lot of support there. So she will always be the people's fan for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's got Brazil behind her. So just moving on, the last fight. I mean, the men of the hour. You got Jan Blachowicz versus the last stylebender Israel Adesanya. I gotta go with Israel Adesanya right away. This is I watched both guys fight. I'm not counting Jan out.
Game, bro.
What's that?
I said this is one of the fights that you already knew that you're going to shoot out the gate for the person that you're going to choose already, huh?
Yeah, I just when I first heard about this fight happening, I was kind of gave it some thought. I'm like, I don't know, like that's a big step up. But at the end of the day, I mean, he just beat Paulo Costa, who is almost walking around about the same weight as Jan Blachowicz. So it's not like, it's not like Israel is totally at a disadvantage. I mean, weight wise, he is. But if we look at this fight, you know, I think that the thing is people are really worried about is like Jan Blachowicz. He's got this Polish power knockout, which he does, and you should never count him out. But that being said, he like Israel Adesanya, he still has a reach advantage. He still has the height advantage. He still has a little bit of a leg reach advantage. I think the thing is like people don't understand is like this like Israel Adesanya, like yeah, he's not a big muscular guy, but he just knows where to hit you, and that's kind of scary when you have someone that doesn't even need the power to knock you out. That's kind of scary.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said earlier, this is the main guy right here that actually demonstrates the accountability for the numbers of fights. That record that he has right now, 20 and what is it? 20 and 0. Is it 20?
Yeah.
20 and 0 plus 60 something fights, bro. 70 something fights that he had in kickboxing or more.
Yeah.
We don't know, or more. And that skill, that discipline is carrying over into MMA. So he's very comfortable. That's why he can see his shots and pick his shots. And with speed and technique, then you apply power. Power comes naturally after. And Israel Adesanya has that. He has the power, obviously. He's been knocking out fucking Paulo Costa and all these bigger people, But it goes to show that he can really catch someone like Jan and sit him down, I'm not too sure how strong with chin Jan is or what, I mean, if he has a glass jaw or not. I've never seen him take a shot, but I've seen Israel take many shots.
Yes.
Big people as well. So if he weathers a storm and utilizes his discipline, all those fights that he had in his years, and do the same thing that he's done to people and dismantle them, he's going to do the same thing to Jan. So I'm going to go with Israel on this for sure. I got to support him on that. Like he's a champion for a reason, and he's doing the things that some people have thought of, but he's also taken it to a different level within himself. He's not trying to prove anything to everyone. He's trying to prove something very big to himself, as a mixed martial artist.
100%.
Talked about this before. Like the difference between a mixed martial artist and an athlete is that you're competing as an athlete to be the best in that promotion, right? And mixed martial artist, you're going against everyone to actually see or to become a true mixed martial artist. The same thing that Bruce Lee has done against other Ip Man has done as well, in their time. He's doing that for himself, not for people around, yeah, it is for the fans and for entertainment, but he's trying to prove something to his higher self, and where his full potential is at. That's what he's doing, and I admire that 100%. I admire that about him. So I'm gonna go with him on this one. Jan, Jan is a Polish beast, Polish power beast, and it's crazy the story that he just told recently about the guy he found hanging and stuff. And
I heard about that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane, and I don't know, something weird there, but I kind of had some thoughts about that, like, oh shit, where's Polish power come from, But it's crazy, man. It's crazy how every fighter has a different story to tell in their life, on their journey. to success. And I love it. I love hearing it. I love seeing it. I love being around all of it. That makes you more of a champion, and that makes you more of a complete mixed martial artist or an athlete.
100%. And that's what I like about Israel is that not just that, he's incredibly mentally strong as well. And you can see that translate into his fights, the way he speaks, the way he carries himself as a champion. And yeah, he does kind of like flashy, kind of cocky stuff, but that's his character. That's his persona. I know some people don't like it. I know he does some crazy shit, but I'll never forget when he beat Paulo Costa and they humped him after. Like, that was pretty fucking funny. That was kind of like all that trash talk, and it's like,
he raw dog. Yeah, definitely just fucking let it all loose and raw dogged it at the ending for sure.
Yeah, that was good.
He's evolving, bro, and he doesn't really have that much years. A lot of fighters don't really have that much years. They hit their peak, and then sometimes they come back, they bounce back, but not all the time, like we're talking about. But yeah, when you gotta just take charge of your life, and you have a certain amount of time on your life doing the thing that you love, your passion or anything. And you gotta really, really seize the moment. Carpe diem that shit, seize the fucking moment on that. And that's what he's doing. Before he leaves the MMA world, he's leaving a legacy in his own way, like Conor McGregor did in his own way. He's doing it in his own way. And much respect to both of these fighters, all of them on this card. It's an amazing card. Amazing card.
It has very much potential. I don't know if Dana White's got to go after all those streamers again. But this is going to be a great card. Every fight I'm looking forward to. It's going to be a great card. I did want to appreciate you for joining in and giving your thoughts on every matchup. And I got to have you back on the podcast anyway. So I appreciate you doing the stream with me.
For sure. I have some things in the works, and I'll shoot you a message, an update on that, and then we can set up a date, But yeah, stay tuned for sure, Luke. And thank you for having me. You have a beautiful weekend.
Yes, you too. Enjoy the fights on Saturday, eh?
Sounds great, man.
All right, take care.
Peace.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed that, again, special thanks to my brother there. It's always having a pleasure having a fighter come on and kind of giving their insight on fights, because they know it best. Again, if you guys like that, please like and subscribe. It always helps. I love the support, and I'll continue throwing out more content for you guys. And stay tuned, and more podcasts coming along. So, guys, enjoy the fights this weekend. UFC 259, Jan Blachowicz versus Israel Adesanya. And give your comments below. Tell me who you think's going to win. And enjoy the fights, guys. So stay safe. The coronavirus is still going out there. We're in this together. And stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll get through this together, like I said. All right, guys. I'm tuning out here. So thanks for watching, and enjoy your weekend.